If semen retention makes you feel angry and miserable and it's a struggle just to get through every single day without ejaculating, you're doing something wrong. Hey guys, I'm Jonathan White. I'm here to help you master your sexual energy so you can manifest your ideal life. If you want to learn more about sexual and self-mastery, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to stay notified when I release new videos and go live. Make sure you get my free ejaculation control course through the link in the video description below. In this video, I'm going to share the top 5 mistakes that men make when practicing semen retention. Semen retention has amazing benefits, but if you're making some of these mistakes, you could be experiencing unnecessary negative side effects such as sexual frustration, irritability, low energy, and just a lack of drive in your life, really not getting the benefits that we want from semen retention. And all these points I'm going to share are very essential, so don't skip through this. Make sure you listen carefully and really understand each point I'm sharing here, especially number 5, as it's the most important of all. Now, hopefully by now you know that you shouldn't be scrolling through Pornhub and the hentai section of Reddit. You're not going to count those on this list. The first mistake men make when practicing semen retention is doing it for the wrong reasons. It's important to have a really strong purpose for practicing semen retention and something that is not superficial. What I see a lot from men practicing semen retention is they're actually doing it to please others. They want to be more attractive for others. They want to seem cooler to others. It basically comes down to having these people-pleasing habits. They're trying to impress other people, and that's not a sustainable thing. You're not going to be happy. You're not going to feel fulfilled from this in the long run if it's just to try to attract women and be able to tell people that you went longer than they did without ejaculating, which is a ridiculous thing. So get very clear on why you're doing it, and you should have very good reasons for practicing semen retention. My reasons for practicing semen retention are that I get a massive increase in my energy levels. I have higher testosterone, more creativity, more drive. It deepens my spiritual path. It deepens my meditation practice. It makes me feel more of who I am, and I feel like it gives me more energy to fulfill my mission in this world. The second mistake that men often make is having a fear of ejaculating. They're so afraid of losing their semen that they actually are not able to enjoy life. They're not able to enjoy specifically having sex. Every now and then I get messages from women whose partners are practicing semen retention. A very common thing I see is that the man is actually afraid of having sex with her. He avoids having sex because he's afraid that he will ejaculate and lose all of the semen retention benefits, which is absurd. First of all, because the whole path of sexual kung fu is learning how to separate orgasm from ejaculation and how to develop powerful ejaculation control, so that no longer becomes an issue. But this fear of losing your semen creates this lack mindset in yourself, and it causes you to have this tense grip on your energy. And what that causes is that your energy, your creative sexual energy, is no longer flowing. It gets stuck in your body, and it makes you become a little bit crazy. It leads to you never being able to actually connect with a partner. It leads to women feeling a lack of presence, and they feel your fear, and it becomes very unattractive to them, and it hurts your relationships in the long run. So do not be afraid of ejaculating, but it's good to develop your ejaculation control skills so you are confident that you will be on your game, at least the majority of the time. The third mistake men make on semen retention is having retrograde ejaculations. So I've had a lot of men reach out to me sharing their practice of what they call non-ejaculatory orgasms, and I see a lot of men teaching these techniques as well, where basically you hit the point of ejaculation, you hit the point of orgasm, and then you either physically use what's known as the $1 million point technique, where you press into the perineum, blocking the valve which semen travels through to have what appears to be a dry orgasm, or you squeeze the pelvic floor muscles at the point of orgasm, which basically does the same thing. It closes the valve so the semen cannot go through the urethra and ejaculate it out. But what these men don't understand is that the majority of the time, the semen is simply being redirected into the bladder, and then you urinate it out. So it is no different than ejaculating. The problem with this is that you're still having ejaculatory orgasms, but you think you're not having them. So you're not practicing semen retention at all. And again, I've seen many men who in the semen retention community are sharing these types of techniques, saying that they're having non-ejaculatory orgasms when they're just having retrograde ejaculation. It's completely pointless. You get zero benefit from doing this. In fact, I was talking to a guy many years ago when I was kind of new to Instagram, new to teaching this stuff in general. This guy reached out to me and told me, "Oh, I haven't ejaculated in 20 years. And I'm like, whoa, this guy's so cool. He's gone 20 years without ejaculating. So I'm asking him all these questions. And it didn't take me long to figure out that he was simply using the $1 million point, having retrograde ejaculations every day. When I asked him about this, I'm like, is the semen just going through your bladder and you're urinating out? And he said, well, the body reabsorbs it from the bladder, so it's like not ejaculating at all. And he said things like, well, if I just rub the semen into my belly, my body reabsorbs it, so it doesn't count. So just like, I see this a lot where men find these excuses and things so they can justify, yeah, I've gone a year without ejaculating, when it's just an ego game. It's just kidding yourself, and ultimately none of this matters, right? I'm not trying to like put anyone down for anything like this. It's just being very, very clear on what is actually happening. So this is why I teach very different methods of non-ejaculatory orgasm that are not not causing retrograde ejaculation, which is almost exactly the same as just a full-blown ejaculation. The fourth mistake men make on semen retention is actually going for too long, retaining semen for too long. I do not have the belief that the longer you go, the better. I think that there's a certain cycle that is a sweet spot for men to hit. This will vary for you based on different factors. But for me personally, if I go longer than about 6 weeks, I actually start to experience lower testosterone. I experience a lessened quality of my erection. And so for me, about at a month to 6 weeks, I use a sexual kung fu to draw energy throughout my body during sex and then ejaculate after, a certain procedure I follow. I don't feel like I've lost any energy. And this gives me the highest benefits. And this is what I encourage you to do, is to learn the sexual kung fu techniques so you can absorb all that energy from the semen and then have a conscious ejaculation at the right timeline for you. You get all the benefits of semen retention, and then you don't get the potential negative side effects of lowered testosterone levels. So there will be a sweet spot for you, and it takes some experimentation to find this. And again, a lot of men have trouble with this because they want to identify as going longer than anyone ever has without ejaculating, because somehow that makes them cooler, right? I had this mindset for a long time, and it actually caused me a lot of harm. And what I found, again, was that there's a certain cycle that you get the highest benefits possible. So that's what I choose to do. And finally, number 5, the fifth mistake that men make on semen retention, and this is the most important one. And unfortunately, this seems to be the one that the majority of men in the semen retention don't quite fully understand or implement into their practices. And it really holds them back in experiencing the highest benefits and developing in their practice. And that is circulating your sexual energy. Now, this is a very specific thing. When I say circulate your sexual energy, I'm not talking about going to the gym, working out, like, a physical exertion of energy. That is a different thing. I mean, circulating your qi, specifically your sexual energy, your jing qi, the essence of the semen. This is what sexual kung fu is really all about. Because here's the thing, when you practice semen retention, think of it as like a pressure cooker. You're building all this pressure, all this raw sexual energy in your genitals, your lower energy centers, the lower chakras, we could say, right? And you could think of it as like this. You want your body, your mind, your spiritual energy bodies to become steam powered. So this pressure turns into a steam, and it pressurizes through your channel system, opening your energy channels, circulating that energy, changing the form of it, and giving you this power, this sexual, pressurized, refined energy. But the problem is that this isn't something that just happens on its own naturally. It's something that you have to do through specific practices. And most men doing semen retention don't do these practices. They just are not ejaculating. That's all they're doing. Maybe they're hitting the gym and things like that. That's great, but it's still not going to create this. And what happens is this pressure cooker, it's not steaming through the body. It's just building, building, building. And you experience an overactivation of the lower energy centers without an equal activation of the higher energy centers. So your heart energy doesn't grow in relation to your growing, lustful, egotistical, materialistic, base animalistic desires. That's why a lot of men get inflated egos and just become extremely shallow when they practice semen retention. I see it all the time. And this also, over time, this energy is stuck in the balls. You're not doing anything with that energy. It's just making you more horny. It's making you more pulled down into the lower centers of your bodies. This very, very base level animalistic experience of life. Eventually you start to feel stuck. Eventually you start to feel irritable, frustrated. You get angry at stupid things for no reason. You feel stuck in life. You feel like nothing's moving. You don't have any creative energy. You get stuck because your energy is literally stagnant. By circulating your sexual energy using the sexual kung fu techniques, microcosmic orbit is one of the most basic and essential practices. You prevent this from happening. And now this sexual energy is moving through your body. It's fully engaging your channel system. It's changing, it's moving, flowing like water. If water doesn't move, it just becomes stagnant and starts to grow nasty shit. Same thing with your energy. If it doesn't move, it becomes stagnant and it grows nasty patterns. So keeping your sexual energy moving through your body, you experience the highest benefits of semen retention. You experience amplified creativity, amplified thought, spiritual connection, a more balanced, loving energy where you're not just trying to like hump everything that moves around you. And it feels good. It feels very, very good. You feel amazing. You feel high 24/7 when you have this sexual energy transmuting and circulating through your body. This is what makes semen retention effortless. It makes it something you enjoy. You don't have to like struggle every day like, oh, I need to jerk off, but I have to force myself not to. No, it's easy. It's effortless. Am I going to ejaculate or not isn't even a thought because it just becomes part of your lifestyle because it feels so good. It's an obvious thing to do. It's like, do I want to smoke crack? I don't think so. Maybe, I mean, some of you might say yes to that, right? But in general, once you get into this elevated state of sexual energy flowing through your body, there's just no going back. And circulating your sexual energy is what creates that momentum, that movement, that gives you the highest benefits, and you don't want to go back to the old ways. If you want a specific practice for circulating your sexual energy, which you should do regularly, check out my testicle breathing guided meditation practice. All right, guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Again, implement what I've shared in this video, and I guarantee you're going to see a lot more effortlessness, a lot more sustainability, and enjoyment in your semen retention practice. Thank you for watching this video. Give this video a like and let me know what your perspective is on what I've shared in the comments below.